There's a blue bottle in this room which is as irritating as Keir Starmer, if you can believe that. I mean, genuinely, it's like buzzing around my ear, taunting me, which is like reading anything that comes out of, or listening to anything that comes out of Keir Starmer's mouth. His response to the local elections has been, well, psychologically, very interesting. I mean, if you were unsure as to whether he was a narcissist before, you won't be now. He's tone deaf, absolutely tone deaf. He cannot read a room. He has got zero concept of what you and I are thinking. He cannot relate lived experience, what people are actually living, to his ideas. There's a massive disconnect in that. The way that he sees the effect of his actions is almost like it's got a haze over it. He picks and chooses what he wants to see, and he cannot move past the Tories. He cannot move past the past 14 years. So, all in all, I mean, it was never going to be anything insightful from him, but it's worse than that. So he says most prime ministers would respond to the local elections with the same old excuses. I mean, all you've done for the past 10 months is excuse yourself by saying it was the Tories' fault, but there you go. My response is simple. Well, you are. I get it. What do you get? What do you get, Keir? What do you think we're saying? What's going in your ears that you think is coming out of our mouths? What do you think the British public are saying about your leadership? Do you think they're saying, we love Keir Starmer, he's brilliant, he's such a nice bloke, I'd love to go for a pint with him. Isn't he great? You know, he's being so kind to those migrants. He's been so lovely welcoming them into our country. I mean, I'm thrilled that I haven't had my hip operation, because that poor person over there that had to sit on a boat, they've had it, so I'm really pleased. Do you think that's what they're saying? Do you think they're saying, oh, do you know, I'm so chuffed. I got my national insurance bill and it's like 3 times as much. But, you know, all for the greater good. I've only had to lay off 3 people instead of the 6 I thought it was going to be, so it's fine. Do you think they're saying, darling, just turn the heating down? In fact, turn it off. We don't need it. Heating's for losers. No, just turn it off and we'll put the hot water bottles on again. Yay, because Keir said we must and he's such a nice bloke. Do you think that's what people are saying here? I think people are saying you need to leave. I think people are saying, and I think you know this, I think you know that people are saying resign, go. Do not do anything further and faster. You've gone too fast. You haven't listened. The furthest and farthest thing you should do is now run and let somebody else come in and try and undo the mess that you've done. And I mean, they're going to have to spend the next, I don't know how long, going, well, it was all his fault, but it really was all your fault. Your policies were not thought through. They were rushed through. Your team are amateurs. They don't know what they're doing. You've had 14 years in opposition to work this out. You've had 14 years to do your homework. You've had 14 years to learn what not to do. You've had 14 years to see the effect of some policies that don't work. And yet you've ignored all of that. You've gone in with your blinkers on and gone, well, it's just my way or the highway. And people are saying it's the highway. Keir, you know, if you have a look at the stats, so you say you're securing borders and you've sent 24,000 people with no legal right to be in the UK, you've sent them back. What you haven't said is that we've got, in 4 days in April, there was a record number of migrants that came in. There were 1,500. What you've not said is that more are coming in on small boats than ever before. The crossings are at a record high. So your 24,000 is a drop in the ocean. And I want to know where your 24,000 is from. What's that made up from? Where are these people from? Because if you look at the people whose visas had expired and you're paying to go back, well, there's quite a few thousand in there. And then if you're looking at the thousands that have come out of prison and are now being deported, there's quite a few in there. So how many of the people coming in on the record numbers of small boat crossings are being sent directly back? Or how many are going into houses that you're funding? You're paying landlords 5 times their normal rent. So those landlords will, of course, be saying goodbye to their existing tenants because they can get 5 times more rent and they can have their house maintained. How many of the people coming in on the boats are going into those houses? How many of them are jumping the queue in the NHS? How many of them are having benefits from our taxes? Yet we're not having any benefits from our taxes. You don't talk about that. You just talk about this 24,000 number as though you think that sounds good. You think we're not going to go, no, 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 break it down. We're not stupid, Keir. We're not. This penny needs to drop. I don't know whether it's your wiring. I don't, and this is coming from an autistic person myself, so I know that we are all wired very differently, and we sometimes see things very differently. But you're really not seeing anything at all. So you know, when you say most prime ministers would respond to the local election, I don't care about what most prime ministers would do. I want to know what you would do, and you're saying your response is simple. Well, yeah, it is. It's really simple. It's too simple. You don't get it. You have no concept of what it's like to be living in a country run by Keir Starmer. But let me tell you, it is bleak. So you should go further and faster. We could start with grooming gangs. You can go further and faster and actually let's have the public inquiry that everybody wants. Go further. Just do it. Just do it. Let's not be thinking about this. I know why you don't want to do it, because I know that it exposes the Labour councils. I understand that completely. Too late. Tough. Do it. Let's go further and faster, Keir, either on getting out or actually listening to what people want, revoking many of your policies, backtracking, and actually trying to get this country onto a decent footing, because so far you're just going further and faster over the cliff. And I mean, honestly, I'd wave you goodbye as you go over it. I don't want any harm to come to you, of course, but I would like you to exit your role pretty damn quick. My issue is, if we're stuck with Rayner, mind you, she's not going to last long, is she? So, off you go. Just be gone. Further and faster. Further and faster.